Okay, guys, going into this year, I was not really hyped for E3. I actually forgot that E3 happened and I missed the first day. I mean, honestly, I didn't watch the other conferences. I didn't watch any of the conferences. I only watched Nintendo Direct. I'm a Nintendo fanboy. Yeah, go ahead, judge me. Type it in the comments. I don't care. Now, up until the Nintendo presentation, there was about only two or three games I was really hyped for. There was obviously the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which, I mean, it looked good when it was announced, and it just looks so much better now that we got more gameplay. We see more of like kind of how fleshed out the world is. Looks great, right? That and Tales of Arise. Holy guys, I love the Tales game. In fact, I really haven't been gaming much this year, but the last game I went hard on, hard on. I did that to myself. The last game I really went ham on was Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch. One of my favorite games, and I went crazy with it. And yeah, so the Tales games, I love them. I think Berseria that came out in 2017 might low-key be the best one, but everyone's sleeping on it for some reason. Anyways, long story short, Tales of Rise looked amazing. They finally updated the graphics. Can you believe it? They had the same graphics for like the past 5 games. Like, yeah, no, but they stepped up the visuals. The gameplay looks more better, and then the open world, it just looked good. Tales of Rise looked good. So those are about the 2 games I was really excited for. The rest of it was kind of to me. Oh, my bad. The third game, I did mention 3, right? Doom Eternal, obviously. It was Doom. Like, Doom 2016 slapped, and Doom Eternal is like that on steroids, right? It looks amazing. So those are about the only 3 games I was really looking forward to. And here we are at the Nintendo Direct. So right off the bat, I'm going to say that the Nintendo Direct is a better way of presenting things, right? A better way of just presenting games, presenting gameplay. It's just overall better. And when we got that departure from Nintendo, several years ago now, we thought they were crazy. We weren't all for it. But I think after this year's E3, we can all agree that's a better way of doing it. In this Direct, this is definitely one of the best Nintendo Directs. It might is it, I don't know. I have to think real hard about it if it's the best one. It's definitely up there, and it was really just head and shoulders above all the other presentations at the C3. And I know that's really hypocritical of me to say because I didn't watch the other ones. But judging from what everyone has said online, what I've read through Twitter and just the clips I've seen of everything else, they have their highlights, they have their moments. But Nintendo's entire presentation is a highlight. Like everything is a moment. It's crazy. And also, before I get into the direct, there's some ongoing themes that I really love about this direct. Kind of the other directs too, but this one definitely is that it focuses on obviously games, the gameplay. We had release dates, games coming out this year, games coming out today. Games games already out right now. What am I talking about coming out today? They're already out now, and that is one of the things I really like about when Nintendo does these directs. Like, of course, they don't really have like huge games coming out like that same day or like that week, but they show stuff like different like collections, games people have been wanting to like have on their current system. Some of those older beloved titles and some of those collections come out like within the same day, or some of the smaller games that are pretty fun. They'll come out in the same day. It's just dope. It's amazing. I love it. We need more of that. Another really big theme that I had noticed going on here for me personally is that a lot of the games that we've seen before that they kind of showed like trailers of before, I wasn't the ones I wasn't really excited about, the ones that I was like, I mean, like, it looks okay. It looks so much better now. The gameplay looked better. Just the animations. I think some of the visuals got bumped up on some of them. I don't know. They all looked good. Like, I don't think there was a game shown in this direct that looked bad to me. I don't think there was. It all looked good. So right out the gate, they came out with the Smash Bros. Announcement. We got the Dragon Quest Hero in Smash, Smash Ultimate, obviously. I mean, of course, you have to start off swinging, and they did. Smash Bros. Ultimate sold over 12 million. That was forever ago. It's got a lot of sales. So of course they're going to have some Smash related stuff in there, and that was the first thing that came out with. Dragon Quest, dude, he looks interesting as a character in the game. A lot of his mechanics, I really love that about Smash. How it's not just like we're forcing these characters to fit Smash. I mean, obviously you have to do that to an extent, but in a sense, it's like Smash is kind of like changing itself to fit the character because those characters' mechanics come over, and it was really cool. I think there was a bunch of different like skins of the different Dragon Quest heroes for the guy. That was cool, and just his fighting style looks like a combination of so many different characters, and it creates a very interesting fighter for Smash. So I mean that was cool. I don't know if I'm personally going to use him. Probably not. I'm not a Dragon Quest guy. I haven't really played any of them. I tried playing 7 on the 3DS. It was I don't know, slow start. I couldn't get past the slow start. It's got to get better from there, but I don't know. I just couldn't do it. And of course, immediately following the Dragon Quest Hero announcement for Smash, they showed Dragon Quest 11 for the Switch. I mean, that was obviously announced a while ago, but it just, again, it's one of those things that it looks better every time you see it. So, I mean, that was pretty cool, and that is coming. Oh, I didn't write down the date for that. I got a little, I got notes on this screen over here. Uh, But yeah, so that's the way it started. And then they kind of come out with the little skit with Bowser and Doug Bowser. I mean, it was funny. It was good. It was good. Definitely not as bad as it could have been. It could have gone a lot worse. But yeah, no, it was good. And Doug Bowser's kind of said something that stuck out. One of the themes of the direct that I didn't mention earlier, and that is the quotes: "Games for every type of player." And there was games for everyone. And another thing I really liked about this direct is it didn't stay too long on anything. Some games got a little more focused than other games, obviously, but they didn't linger on something so long where you got bored or you're just kind of like staring at the clock like, okay, when do we get into the next game, when do we get into the next announcement? It was very well paced in that regard. And of course, there's the ups and downs of that, where if you saw a game you really liked, you didn't get to see too much of it. But on the flip side, if you weren't interested in whatever's on screen, it wasn't too long until the next thing came up. So overall, just almost perfectly paced. And like I said, games for everyone. Whatever game you want, they showed something like it. So after that, we get Luigi's Mansion 3. And I don't know. I couldn't really get into Luigi's Mansion again. Excuse me, a bit of a slow start kind of thing, I guess, or I don't know. Luigi's Mansion 3 looks good. I don't know if I'll get it. I don't know if I'll play it. But for what it is, it looks good. They're adding a lot of mechanics, multiplayer components, and, is some updates, some new stuff. It looks good. It looks solid. If you're a Luigi's Mansion fan, you got to be liking what you see. Next up is a game called The Dark Crystal, some sort of Netflix collaboration, I guess, or maybe this is like Netflix showing that their hands in gaming now. It, this is probably the lowest point of the direct for me personally. Like, it didn't look bad. Nothing about the game looked bad. I guess just visually it looked a bit generic and bland for me. But I mean, other than that, it does look pretty solid. So, cool, worth having there. After Dark Crystal, we got Link's Awakening. We got more of that. Again, it's already been announced. And it was one of those things when it came out, I was, and the more I see it, the more I'm on board. So, yeah, that's kudos. I don't really need to say much about that. It just looks good. It looks like it plays good. It's a top-down Zelda, which, those still are good too. So, a little variety there. Right after that, they showed that there was the Trials of Mana remake, which kind of threw me off. I was like, Trials of Mana, I don't think I've heard of that one. And that's because it never got released outside of Japan. So unless you did some like ROM hacking or whatever, you just didn't play it. So that's cool that it's getting a full-blown remake, and it looks good. And it's coming out for the Switch. And then on top of that, they announced the collection, which consists of, what's this, Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, and the original Trial of Mana. That's cool that you get the original game if you don't feel like waiting. And the collection is out now. Right now. This is, again, going back, this is one of the things I really like about Nintendo Direct. They hit you with some of the bigger announcements, and then there's some smaller announcements where it's like, yeah, it's out now. I love it. I love it. The next thing was like a surprise and wasn't at the same time. Witcher 3. Now, this has been in the rumor mill for quite a while, so I don't blame you if you weren't really surprised. I kind of was and wasn't at the same time. It's a really weird thing, right? Because it was in the rumor mill for so long, you're like, oh, it has to be true. But then you're also thinking to yourself, man, could they even get that thing running on the Switch? It didn't look, as good as the other versions currently out now, but it was there. It was running. So there's that. That's like a miracle in itself. And it was one of those things where when it was in the rumor mill, there were some people like, "Oh no, that's not coming. You stupid man! It can't run on Switch. It can run on Switch." Next up, we have Fire Emblem: The Three Houses, and this is one of the games I'm looking forward to. Like I'm really looking forward to. If you know me, I'm a fan of the older Fire Emblem games. Fates and Awakening is just not really my thing. I appreciate that they saved the franchise, introduced a lot of people to Fire Emblem, so now Nintendo considers it like one of their main franchises, and it gets more love. But it's just if you play the older games, you know what I'm talking about when I say this. Just like doesn't have quite the same feel to it. And Fire Emblem Three Houses looked like it was kind of going back to form with some of the older titles from like the little snippets of gameplay I've seen, and I wish this trailer had gameplay in it. It was more of a gameplay thing, but I don't blame them for showing off the story. That's going to be a huge focus of this one, and I guess that's good because some of the older Fire Emblem games, so especially Fates and Awakening, I feel like the stories were a bit kind of like wacky, but this is good that it's hopefully it means that the story is really good. It doesn't just like fall apart or wasn't shit to begin with. Next up, there was Resident Evil 5 and 6 Remastered for Switch. As if there wasn't enough Resident Evil on Switch. But, I guess it's good that these ones are coming. Wish they just put 7 on the Switch, not in a fucking stream mode. But, we'll take it, right? 5 and 6, haven't played them, heard that, they have their moments from what I hear, what I've seen, Resident Evil fans. It's damn near every Resident Evil game is on the Switch at this point. So in a sense, that's cool. The trailer they did for it was kind of cool, being able to play anywhere and then have them enter the little abandoned house and then, duck out when things got creepy. And dude came back and was like, oh, forgot the Switch. I mean, it was clever. I mean, I liked it. Whether or not I'll get those, I don't know. There's so many on the Switch. But yeah, so more Resident Evil on the Switch. If that's your jam, cool, man. Cool. Boy, after that, they announced fucking No More Heroes. No More Heroes fucking 3. That was amazing. Oh man, I saw the trailer. I heard the voice. I was at work. I couldn't really like watch. Had my phone real dim, whatever. I couldn't really see too much. But I heard that voice. I was like, I know this voice. I know it. I kind of like peeked over at my phone. I was like, maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I don't know what's going on. And then, oh boy, the suit comes off. It's Travis touchdown. Oh, the logo came up at the end. It's obviously like a teaser trailer. I was hyped. No More Heroes 3. Ooh, No More Heroes is just really fun. Of course, the first couple games had their flaws, but they were still really fun. And something I noticed is that the arrows came back. So I think with 2 Joy-Cons in hand, they're going to bring back the motion controls, which No More Heroes did, not in an annoying way. And it was fun without being exhausting. You could play, I don't know. I feel like they did it better than most of the motion control games. And to see the arrows back on screen got me thinking they're using Joy-Cons, motion controls are back. I'm a little excited for it. So that's cool. The game, day one for me. After that was more Daemon X Machina, which looked good right out the gate from when we first saw it, and it still looks good. We have the demo. I think it's still available. Should be available. I played the demo, and it was good. I had a little bit of problems. There was frame rate issues here and there, I think. And for me, the major problem was I couldn't adjust the controls. I forget which buttons it was, but like the move and boost, it was hard to do some sort of maneuver. Like I couldn't, boost around. I kind of had to like let go. I don't know. I think it's the boost and dodge. Whatever it was, if they add custom controls game or like give you different button layouts that make a bit more sense for mobility, it'll be really solid. So I had very small gripes with the game, very easy to fix, and the game looks great. The demo was good despite a couple flaws here and there, and it's very promising. It's very promising. I'm not a mech guy. Like I don't even watch mech anime. Like the only mech anime I've seen is like Gurren Lagann, which does that even count? Does that really even count? And Code Geass, which does that even really count? Because it's really not about the mech. It's about the characters. But anyways, you get my point. Not much of a mech guy, but this looked fun. I played the demo. It was fun. So I have high hopes for this game. And it's coming out September 13th. I wrote down some of the dates. I haven't been listing them off. But this one comes out September 13th. So games that are, they have games obviously with a bunch of different release dates, whereas like a lot of, other presentations, a lot of other games coming out 2020, early 2020, mid 2020, like late 2020. Nintendo had a bunch of games, that were coming out in 2020. Had a bunch of games coming out like today, a bunch of games coming out soon, a bunch of games coming out like in the span of like a couple months. So they're showing games where you don't really have to wait too long to play, and that's cool, right? You're not just gonna build hype. We're gonna come next year's E3. You're like, oh, it's not out yet. We'll probably have some of that from Nintendo, but overall, a lot of games coming out in the near future, which I really like. After that, we got a remaster of, no, not a remaster, a remake. Gosh, I keep swapping out these terms. But yeah, a remake of Panzer Dragoon. It looked good. It looked good. Never heard of this particular game before. Apparently it's a remake, and this looks good. Looks solid. Looks solid. Not much to say about that. Comes out. No, yeah, this winter. This winter. Again, game's coming out in the near future, so that's cool. Next up, Pokemon Sword and Shield. There's not too much to say about this. Nintendo had their own Pokemon Direct. Actually, I didn't make a video about that. Maybe I should talk about a little bit about that here. When it was first revealed, Pokemon Sword and Shield, it looked good. It's a Pokemon game, but as we said in the podcast, if you listen to it, me, Dark Cloud, Black Baron, I don't know who else was there. I think it was just us. There might have been don't quote me. Maybe there was more people, but the three of us definitely thought, the game looked a bit bland, like it was lacking features. The overworld was a bit empty. And then when the Pokemon Direct came out a few weeks ago, all that was dispelled. Some of the new mechanics I think are going to be a bit janky. If you play competitive Pokemon, this is like the pinnacle of jank, right? Because now you have like Z crystals, you have the Mega Evolutions. What else you have? You have this gigantic nonsense thing. And then if you play competitive Pokemon, there's a bunch of other like janky things. So it's adding more jank. If you play VGC, I'm sorry, man. But overall, the games, they look good. They look better than they originally did when they first revealed it. Just showing off a bunch of stuff that's making me more interested in it. Of course, I was going to get it regardless. So in this particular Direct, they didn't spend too much time talking about it, which is great, obviously, because they had their own Direct for that. In Super Mario Maker 2, which didn't get too much here, because they already had their own Direct. And I feel like that's a good thing that they got those out of the way, because this presentation would have had that kind of a slowdown to it, you know what I'm talking about, where they spend too much time on one game. And if you're not into it, you're just like, okay, you start getting pulled out of the presentation. You're like, okay, hurry up, and we're going to move on to the next thing. So it's a good thing they had their own Directs so they can just kind of breeze past it here, But game looked good. Game looks good. Astral Chain. You guys might hate me for this, but it's one of those games, when I first saw it, I could tell it looked good and it looked fun, but I just wasn't excited. Like, it was Platinum. I love the Platinum games I played, but I don't know, for some reason couldn't hype myself up for this. After this Direct, it's one of that theme I was telling you about, where games that I didn't really like before now look really good. This is definitely one of them. It looked much better. They try to throw in a bunch of story things going on there with the different dialogue they had going over the gameplay, which I appreciate that they did that instead of specifically, oh, we're having this huge dialogue scene that we're just going to, you're going to hear the dialogue and just going to see the characters talking. No, they had it going over the gameplay, which, I mean, it's nothing new, but I appreciate it. Killing two birds with one stone. Thank you. But the game looked better. I think visually, just it got a bump up in visuals. The animations look better. They showed off some more gameplay, some of the mechanics, and it looks fun. It just looks really fun now. So I'm really looking forward to that, coming out August 30th. Not too soon, not too far though. So that's cool. That's cool. Appreciate it. Next up, we kind of have like a weird part of the direct. Empire of Sin, a game I've never heard of. Was this the first announcement? I don't know. I've been out of the loop for a little bit, but it was just one of those things where the trailer is kind of like interesting, kind of a little bit weird. I couldn't really tell too much about the game from the trailer, and it just kind of ends before you really have an idea what's going on. So that was a weird part of the direct. Everything else you could either see the gameplay and be like, oh yeah, I know what kind of game that is, or you would see kind of like a computer CGI. You see CGI scenes and you'd be like, I got an idea for what they're going for. This is like, I kind of have an idea, but I also feel like I don't. Probably the only confusing part of the direct for me. Maybe I'm stupid, probably, but I mean, like I said, nothing here looked bad. Nothing in direct looked bad, and this didn't look bad either. It's just it's got me asking. I had more questions than answers at the end of the trailer. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 looks so much better now than it did when it was first announced. I mean, it was cool, it was announced, it was exclusive, but the game looked very bland, almost in every sense of the word. The visuals a bit bland, and the gameplay itself just looked pretty mediocre to me when it was first shown off. But after today, I think I'm on board. You see a lot more diversity in some of the attacks, some of the characters, what you can do, and obviously they showed off a lot more gameplay. That helps. And, this huge cast of characters, villains. They had DLC packs announced for X-Men, for other things I don't remember from the top of my head. But it's cool. It's cool. It looks like I'll actually buy it and play it now. So after that, we have the Cadence of Hyrule coming out June 13th. I already deleted the dates for the last one. But anyways, yeah, so Cadence of Hyrule looks really interesting. A mashup of the game I can't think of right now. I'm just terrible today. Anyways, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Something Crypt, and that might be wrong. Yeah, don't quote me on that. Anyways, whatever. Cadence Hyrule is a game that we've heard about. I think it was rumored a while ago. I think it was announced a little bit ago too. Again, not on point today with these things. Not on point today with my video game announcement memory. But I do know that it looked fun, and adding the Zelda flair to it might get a lot of people on board and then playing the developer's original game. So it looked fun. Whether or not I'll get it, it's kind of like I don't know. It's up in the air. It's kind of like a Zelda, like, rhythm adventure mashup. Oh, after I say it out loud, yeah, I might get it. Looks fun. All right, so before we get into the next announcement, let me say I've never had any interest at all, zero, none, in a Mario and Sonic game. Those games just looked so bad to me. I can't explain it. But this one, Mario and Sonic 2020 Olympics, whatever the title is, it looks good. It looks fun. It looks like all the mini games are fun. They showed off some skateboarding. I was like, is it going to be worth it for the skateboarding? It might be. I don't know. It looked cool. I don't know how fleshed out these little mini games are in the Mario and Sonic games. I hope they're fleshed out pretty well. I'm not expecting them to go ham, but I'm really hoping that skateboard stuff's good. I don't know. It looked fun. The visuals look infinitely better than the other ones. Am I crazy for that? I think it looked a lot better than the other Mario and Sonic games, just as far as like the graphics go. Yeah, no, it looks like they're taking this one pretty serious. You have to. Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. So I'll keep my eye on that. I'm not 100% sold yet, but that comes out November of this year. So after that, They had some Animal Crossing gameplay to show us. Animal Crossing fans, I'm sorry, I feel bad for you guys. You guys have been like teased and dragged. You guys have been playing the waiting game, and you guys finally got something here. Me personally, never played Animal Crossing a day in my life. Nope, not on the GameCube, not on the. There was one on the Wii, right? Nope, not that one. Not the one on smartphones. Not even the one on. Where's it at? Not even the one on my new Nintendo 3DS. I'm sorry, Reggie. I'm sorry. And if I'm being honest, this one's not changing my mind. It doesn't look like the game for me. I'm glad Animal Crossing fans finally got something. I'm sorry it got pushed back till 2020, but you know, when Nintendo pushes something back, it's good, right? The game comes out and it's pretty polished, pretty up to snuff. And if you're a fan of that game and you waited for it, they push it back, you wait a little bit longer, it was worth the wait, right? So, uh, just wait a little bit longer. You guys will have something pretty amazing. So after that, we have this highlight reel, and it's pretty much been like, this, oh, I love this presentation. You have people talking on screen for little snippets here and there, and it's just back to back to back to back games. And obviously the highlight reel is straight up back to back games. So let me go through this in order. Spyro Reignited Trilogy coming out September 3rd. Surprise to no one really, it's on the other platforms. And the Crash Bandicoot Trilogy came over to Switch, why wouldn't Spyro? They're both there. Pretty awesome. We have Hollow Knight Silk Song. I don't know if it's a sequel or DLC. Gosh, my phone keeps going off. Someone in the comments, let me know. But anyways, that's coming out. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. I think that's the full title. I just wrote Ni no Kuni. That comes out. The OG one, which from what I hear, what fans have said, is the better one. Comes out September 20th, 2019. That's awesome. So I slept on that game on PS3. Ni no Kuni 2 came out on PS4. I'm like, well, I'm not the kind of guy to just jump into it without playing the first one. So this is cool. This is cool. I'll get to experience the franchise I hear so many good things about. And see, Minecraft Dungeons. Never played Minecraft a day in my life. Whoa, that's crazy, right? That comes out in spring 2020. And as far as Minecrafty things go, it looks good. Obviously, if you're into Minecraft, this might be worth looking into, might be worth picking up. If you're like me, you'll appreciate it for what it is. It's a highlight reel. Not everything's going to be for you. It's not going to be about you, and that's okay. A little something for everyone. See here, Elder Scrolls Blades. See that. That might be the lowest point of the direct. Was anyone hyped about that? It wasn't like unexpected, but at the same time, it was like, was it even worth putting in your highlight reel? But anyways, highlight reel, we're just breezing past everything here, no matter how awesome or not awesome it may be. But that is coming out fall this year. My Friend Pedro comes out June 20th. That's like a week and some change away. So real close. Again, these release dates, you got something coming out today, got some stuff coming out soon, within like a week and a half, within like a month, couple months. They had a bunch of games and they're all paced out. Like the direct was paced out really well. These games release dates are paced out pretty well, in my opinion. So that's cool. Doom Eternal, which I've already spoken about earlier, hyped, coming to the Switch. Didn't spend too much time on it, highlight reel, because Bethesda had their own presentation. Cool. I can totally get why they put it in a highlight reel. Sinking City. That one was kind of like the other game I was talking about, where I was more questions than answers. But again, it didn't look bad. Looked interesting though. I'll keep my eye on it. After that, Wolfenstein Young Blood. That comes out. That comes out July 16th. So there we go. We have Wolfenstein 2, and now Wolfenstein Young Blood is on the way. Dead by Daylight, September 24th. If you're into that, you can now have it on your Switch. That's pretty dope. Alien Isolation. Alien guys are going to let me know. I believe Isolation was the good one, right? I mean, why would they bring over a bad game? But then again, anyways, yeah, no. Hopefully that's the one y'all wanted. Hopefully that's the one y'all wanted. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Again, we already knew that was coming. It's kind of good. It was in the highlight reel, so we could breeze past it. Not an official release date, coming out this winter, so that's cool. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Dragon Quest Builders 2 coming out July 12th. Pretty soon. And if you're a Dragon Quest Builders kind of person, man, you don't gotta wait long. Stranger Things, the video game, coming out July. Did I write that right? July 4th? I might not have wrote that right. But yeah, Stranger Things, the video game. Not crazy about it, but not against it either. See here, Just Dance 2020. I mean, was there ever a question that a Just Dance game was not going to come out? If a Just Dance game came out, was there ever any question that it's not going to hit the Switch? Come on, guys. I mean, but yeah, Just Dance 2020. Catan? Catan? I don't know how to pronounce this title. Catan coming out June 20th. One of those games where, again, doesn't look like it's for me. Highlight reel doesn't really matter. We're just trying to show you a little something for everyone. New Super's Lucky Tale. This was an interesting announcement, I think, because I believe the Lucky Tale, Super Lucky's Tale, whatever it was called, was an Xbox and Windows exclusive, and I don't think Microsoft cares anymore, especially after one of the last announcements. But yeah, we'll get to there. Microsoft just like, you know what? Our game's everywhere. We already got Cuphead, so I guess it shouldn't be too surprising that the new Super Lucky's Tale is coming out to the Switch. Dauntless is making its way over to the Switch, and that's great. I love me some Monster Hunter, and I do want to play something as I wait for Iceborne. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to play Dauntless on Switch because I think Iceborne will be out before Dauntless makes it over to the Switch. But actually, no, it could still work. Iceborne's on PS4, Dauntless is on Switch. I'll play it on the go. It looks cool. It looks fun. This trailer here is obviously very short, but I have looked at the game in depth on my own time, and I like what I see. So it's very cool that it was announced that it's coming to the Switch, and honestly, it was kind of a no-brainer too. It was on the other systems. So, Dauntless. Where am I at this? Oh, the last game in the reel, Super Mario Maker 2, coming out June 8th, 28th. Whew. It'd be nice if it was coming out June 8th. It would have happened already if it was June 8th. June 28th, Super Mario Maker 2, and I don't think I gotta talk about this one either. I haven't made videos in a while. Everything they showed about Super Mario Maker 2, aside from... Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. But as far as Super Mario Maker 2 goes, it's Super Mario Maker on crack. I didn't think there was too much left to add or do with Super Mario Maker. And when they announced Super Mario Maker 2, I'm like, really? What could you possibly... And then they showed off the Super Mario Maker 2 Direct. I was like, okay, apparently, wow, there's a lot of doors that have not been opened that are now opened in Super Mario Maker 2. A lot of stuff you can do. A lot of... Stage builders, you're going to have a blast. Even if you don't like the aspect of stage building, Super Mario Maker 2 is totally going to be worth it to play the crazy stuff people come up with. It's going to have some little story mode or whatever, a little single player. It looks like it slaps. It looks like it slaps. Really, really wish I could enjoy the game with my online friends, though. I mean, yeah. So with that, we reached the end of the highlight reel, which was overall a pretty good showcase on top of the good showcase of the presentation that we already had. And I was surprised. That they came at us with another Smash announcement after they came out the gate swinging. I knew there was going to be a Smash announcement. I told myself, is it going to be at the beginning or the end? And Nintendo's like, yes and yes. We got one here towards the end too, and it was perfect, right? Starts off with Donkey and Diddy and now K. Rool. That's cute. That they're all little kind of like buddies just like crashing out in the hut. But yeah, no, they're all just chilling there and very reminiscent of the trailer when K. Rool was announced. We kind of got this little scurrying, mysteriousness. Everyone runs to the window, and now K. Rool kind of shoves Donkey out of the way to see what's happening. And you see the silhouette of Banjo-Kazooie, and you're like, oh my god! And they try to fake you out when Duck Hunt takes it off. And you're like, I mean, they've already done this exact announcement before. Like, you're not even going to make that character model and not have it in the game. And then Banjo comes crashing down. Banjo-Kazooie is in Smash, and as opposed to the characters tripping out like, oh, they're applauding. They are ecstatic. They are so happy. And I love the way this is because, Rare made the Donkey Kong Country games, and that's what turned Donkey Kong from just like this, villain into a heroic, I guess one of their good characters, right? They really turned around Donkey Kong's character. They created a whole Donkey Kong universe as the other characters, Diddy, Cranky, all that. So it was a nice touch, the way they announced it, the way Donkey, Diddy, and K. Rool are all hooping and hollering and clapping. I liked that. And then obviously Banjo-Kazooie, he looks like how you'd expect Banjo-Kazooie to play in Smash Bros. Whether or not he'll be good and competitive, viable, I don't know. It doesn't matter. This is fan service. This is really nice fan service. And it's not too far out of left field because Microsoft has come out. Maybe not Microsoft. Phil Spencer came out and said, yeah, sure, I'd love to see Banjo in Smash. And everyone's like, oh, that's it, Banjo and Smash. And then everyone's like, realistically, there's a lot of hoops and loops you got to jump through. But here it is. It's happening. And it's coming out fall this year. Banjo-Kazooie in Smash. I know that made a lot of people happy. And again, the way they announced it could not have been better, I don't think. I think that was pretty good. Now, this is where we would expect the Direct to end. It opened and it closed with Smash Bros. Character announcements, which made sense because we're kind of like halfway through the year and we've only had one of our DLC fighters in our DLC fighter pack released, even announced. So it was kind of weird to make it this far in this year and there wasn't any more character announcements. Then we got two, makes perfect sense. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the Direct. That's how Nintendo do it. They either start or finish with the Smash character. They ended with one, that's it. No, you're wrong. They had one more announcement. And it was a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. Teaser trailer, obviously there was no gameplay of it shown, but from what we saw, it does look very interesting. Now, regardless of how you feel about Breath of the Wild, I personally enjoyed it. Of course, there's mechanics and things in there that annoyed me. I didn't enjoy so much. I wish some more things were fleshed out. Regardless if you love it or you hate it, you have to admit it is the foundation for a great game. If you don't think it is a great game, you can see how it's all the skeleton, the blueprints of a great game. So to have a direct sequel to it be announced is very, very promising. If there was just some things they'd fine tune, some things they tweak, some things they just, easy fixes, right? This game could be absolutely phenomenal. And since this is a direct sequel and it's kind of akin to Majora's Mask in a sense, it's a bit of a darker tone, but more importantly, it looks like they'll be kind of just reusing a bunch of Breath of the Wild assets. The development is not going to take long. It's not going to take long. I have a good feeling we're not waiting long for this Zelda game. My guess, don't quote me guys, my guess is it'll be coming out late next year, or I imagine the latest would be like mid-2021. Again, since they're just reusing some of the assets and they're kind of like, I imagine Breath of the Wild is the foundation for this game. They're going to tweak around some things. I don't think it's going to take long. I don't think we'll have to wait long for this game. And I think it has the potential to blow Breath of the Wild out of the water. Again, just some things that they needed to fine-tune, some things need to be more fleshed out. People miss the full-blown temples, dungeons, whatever you want to call them. I did too, but I did appreciate what was there. I did like the puzzliness of the four mechanical creatures, whatever the technical term for them was. You know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, I'm not against the idea of bringing back, ye old ye old dungeons and temples. I'm not against that at all. So this is a very promising announcement. Again, nothing too solid was shown, but it opens up our imaginations. Our imaginations go wild. We got a bunch of ideas for how it will be, and I imagine it's going to be a huge step up from Breath of the Wild, which is a game I already loved. So there it is, guys. This video dragged on a lot longer than I probably wanted it to, but I haven't made content. Well, it's good. It's good. I look a mess. Obviously, no haircut or shave, and God knows how long. But I had to make this. The presentation slapped, and it's good to be making a positive video about Nintendo for a change. A lot of times I'm on the podcast or I make my own videos. It's kind of because Nintendo did something stupid and I had to get on their case about it. In fact, I was supposed to get on their case about Super Mario Maker 2, but I waited a bit too long, and I have the script written up. Next time Nintendo does something stupid, I'll probably go back to that. But yes, guys, now's the time. Now is the time. If not right now, somewhere really close to now in the near future is the time to own one of these. A Nintendo, hold on. Own one of these, a Nintendo Switch. Boy, get yourself one of these bad boys. It's great. It's amazing. I love it. It's a good time to be a Switch owner. Something for everyone. Whew. Everyone is here. There's games for everyone. I love this. Everyone. Everyone. Not just Nintendo fanboys. Not just dude bro shooters. Not just JRPG or action RPG. Whatever. RPG. Heavy people. Something for everyone. Great Nintendo. Great Nintendo Direct. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching.